All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. You can't teach anybody anything, only make them realize the answers are already inside them. The laws of nature are written by the hand of God in the language of mathematics. I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. In the sciences, the authority of thousands of opinions is not worth as much as one tiny spark of reason in an individual man. Knowing thyself, that is the greatest wisdom. I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with senses, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. Two truths cannot contradict one another. To understand the universe, you must understand the language in which it's written, the language of mathematics. To be humane, we must ever be ready to pronounce that wise, ingenious, and modest statement, I do not know. The sun, with all those planets revolving around it and dependent on it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes as if it had nothing else in the universe to do. Measure what can be measured, and make measurable what cannot be measured. There are those who reason well, but they are greatly outnumbered by those who reason badly. Nonetheless, it moves. Nothing can be taught to a man, only it's possibly to help him to discover it inside. The greatest wisdom is to get to know oneself. The Bible shows the way to go to heaven, not the way the heavens go. Nature is inexorable and immutable. She never transgresses the laws imposed upon her, nor cares a whit whether her abstruse reasons and methods of operations are understandable to men. God is known by nature in his works and by doctrine in his revealed word. Where the senses fail us, reason must step in. Mathematics is the language with which God has written the universe. You may force me to say what you wish. You may revile me for saying what I do, but it moves. Some merely to contradict what I had said, did not scruple to cast doubt upon things they had seen with their own eyes again and again. In questions of science, the authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual. Wine is sunlight held together by water. Who would dare assert that we know all there is to be known? Nothing occurs contrary to nature except the impossible, and that never occurs. With regard to matters requiring thought, the less people know and understand about them, the more positively they attempt to argue concerning them. If you could see the earth illuminated when you were in a place as dark as night, it would look to you more splendid than the moon. It is surely harmful to souls to make it a heresy to believe what is proved. I think that in the discussion of natural problems we ought to begin not with the scriptures, but with experiments and demonstrations. It is a beautiful and delightful sight to behold the body of the moon. See now the power of truth. They who depend upon manifest observations will philosophize better than those who persist in opinions repugnant to the senses. Facts which at first seem improbable will, even on scant explanation, drop the cloak which has hidden them and stand forth in naked and simple beauty. Mathematics is the key and door to the sciences. Nature is relentless and unchangeable, and it is indifferent as to whether its hidden reasons and actions are understandable to man or not. Being infinitely amazed, so do I give thanks to God, who has been pleased to make me the first observer of marvelous things, unrevealed to bygone ages. Holy Scripture could never lie or err. Its decrees are of absolute and inviolable truth. The book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. Long experience has taught me this about the status of mankind with regard to matters requiring thought. The less people know and understand about them, the more positively they attempt to argue concerning them. I do not know what to say in a case so surprising, so unlooked for and so novel. We must say that there are as many squares as There are numbers. See now the power of truth, the same experiment, which at first glance seemed to show one thing, when more carefully examined, assures us of the contrary. The Milky Way is nothing else but a mass of innumerable stars planted together in clusters. But some, besides allegiance to their original error, possess I know not what fanciful interest in remaining hostile not so much toward the things in question as toward their discoverer. Philosophy itself cannot but benefit from our disputes, for if our conceptions proved true, new achievements will be made; if false, their refutation will further confirm the original doctrines. The earth in fair and grateful exchange pays back to the moon an illumination similar to that which it receives from her throughout nearly all the darkest gloom of the night. To command their professors of astronomy to refute their own observations is to command them not to see what they do see and not to understand what they do understand. Well, since paradoxes are at hand, let us see how it might be demonstrated that in a finite, continuous extension it is not impossible for infinitely many voids to be found.